Content creator Megan Bowen introduces to her foreign audiences the latest trends in Korea, including K-pop, fashion, beauty tips, and food.
All right, so the intro that I do on my YouTube channel, and many of you guys who watching, if you are subscribed to me, then you know my intro is hello, friends and family. This is Megan Bowen, aka 비교문화. Yeah, it just kind of stuck. People liked it, and I just kept going with it. It wasn't planned. The best things on YouTube happen unplanned. I've been living here in South Korea for 8 years. I came right after I graduated from college. When I first came, a lot of my family members didn't really know about South Korea. A lot of Western people, I realized at that time, didn't really know the difference between a lot of East Asian countries like Japan, China, and Korea. And they would always say, well, isn't it the same? And so I was like, it's not. Korea is different. They have their own unique culture. They're amazing. So I kind of wanted to teach people about how, East Asia is different. And I wanted to show people about Korea and Korean culture, especially my family. And so that's kind of why I got started. And I've been doing it ever since. And actually even got married here. So I'm going to be here forever. I'll be teaching you how to become a successful culture/lifestyle YouTuber based on my experience. The main topics we will cover in this video are how to start up your Kculture channel, how to remain consistent with uploads, surviving before your channel becomes profitable, how to stand out in the saturated YouTube market, engaging your YouTube audience, how to market yourself and get sponsorships, dealing with hate comments. So when I first started YouTube, I didn't really have any expensive equipment. I had this crusty microphone that everyone loved to remind me about that I try to forget because it's in the past. Now, I never forget where you came from, okay? Stepping stones. And I didn't have any lighting, so I just used the light from the windows, so it made me super, super pale because when you do natural light from the windows, it tends to do that on cameras. It was a little bit challenging to find topics at first, but the more I lived here in Korea, the more I realized, wow, there's so many aspects of Korean culture. You could literally spend a lifetime trying to explain things that happen without ever running out of topics. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. There was one big channel called UIK. I would look at their videos and see which ones were popular or see which ones people didn't really like that much. If you're trying to make videos about Korean culture, holiday videos never work. People are like, oh my God, there's Pepero Day. Oh my God, isn't that so cool? The views are going to be crap. So that's a tip for you. So I learned from the few people that were doing the videos that I was doing when I first started about life in Korea. And another thing that I did to find out topics was I kind of looked and saw what people were saying in the comments on things that other people could have done better. And so I would read their comments and then make the same video about a similar or the same topic, but I would make it better according to what their fans told them that they should have done. And another thing that I did was I found out how I can approach them from a different angle. I feel like UIK's videos were more from, hey, we're Westerners, these are interesting or weird things in Korea, but it didn't really explain why Korean people do what they do. So I was kind of like, oh, I think that could be what I do because I have a lot of Korean friends and I speak Korean, so I can talk and ask people about why certain things happen. And also because I'm more integrated into Korean society, I feel like that allowed me to be able to find out more differences. That has led me to come up with video topics that people haven't done. I've never seen one video about people making it about that dead fish that they hang up over the door, in Korea for new businesses. There's so many businesses with that dead fish on top of the door. It's called bugo. And so I would just ask everyone and they're like, yeah, there's a lot of reasons why people do it and why you can see it. It allowed me to be able to come up with other topics that people weren't doing, and I was able to do it in a way that made people interested in it. If I was just starting out YouTube now and I wasn't me, I would try and figure out how can I approach Korean culture from a different angle. Don't just repeat what other people have done unless you know that the information that you're providing is different from theirs or is a little bit better than theirs or more informed. I think that would help tremendously. So since I've been in Korea a while and I've gone through so many phases of life here and I'm always learning, I think that's really helped me to stay consistent with my video uploads. I feel like I'm never at a shortage for topics. Whatever topic you've chosen to focus on. So if you've chosen, to be talking about your student life here in Korea, then I think make sure you engage that a lot. So make sure you're going to all of the student functions. Even if it's something like a dance performance at your school, go to everything at your school. You have to be curious and you have to do as much as you can and with Korean people. You really need to be like engaged in Korean society. Don't just be in Itaewon all the time. Itaewon is the area where all the like different foreign ethnicities like combine. I had a rule where I was like, I'm not gonna like deeply befriend any foreign people for at least a year. So my friends when I first came in Korea were my coworkers. I was the only foreign person there. Everyone else was Korean. So you want to make sure that you're really thoroughly enmeshed in life here in Korea, and that will help you with consistency. And that's actually what I do even now. I mean, I actually can't help it since like my husband and like in-laws are Korean, so I'm learning even more things now. I'm like, what are we doing and why are we doing this? Be involved. So if you're thinking about starting YouTube, but you're worried about if you should maybe quit your job and start right away, or like how should you do it? Like how can you start making money right now? Then I do recommend that when you first start, you keep a foot in another door for a little bit just to see if you got something going there. You don't want to be like those people on American Idol who can't sing but like think they can, but then like you can't. When I was a teacher, I was just doing YouTube and it wasn't making any money, but I was just doing it to kind of build up an audience to see if this is something I could possibly do. When I realized, okay, I think I can do it. I still didn't really have that many subscribers. I still had less than, I think, 50,000 subscribers. And probably I was making like $100 on AdSense a month, rough times. I knew that I needed to jump all in though. If you have your feet in too many doors at once, it'll keep you from being fully focused on YouTube. If you are gonna do it and you realize this is something you can do, you really are gonna have to just kind of take the plunge. That's why I kind of think of YouTube as like you're kind of being an entrepreneur. Think of it as you're starting a new company. There is some risk associated. You could drop everything that you're doing and then maybe it doesn't work out for you and you have to start looking for another job again. But I think it's necessary that you have that mindset that once you realize this is something you can do, that you jump all in for it. And maybe you have to move to your mom's basement for a little bit to like see, like, I don't know. I think the people who are successful are people who have jumped right into it and have put their all into it. Literally, it's like a 24-hour like job. I would literally stay up so late at night coming up with ideas, etc. You are going to have to work hard. I'm not going to sit here and be like, yeah, it's easy, just do this. It's not. And don't give up too soon. So many people, they give up so soon. They'll come to Korea and they'll say, Megan, I want to be a YouTuber. And they'll make like 5 videos over the course of like a couple months and they're like, it's not working out, and they quit. You're going to have to give it at least a year. Try your best. Do those videos consistently. When I was a teacher, I would have to stay up to like 3, 4, 5 a.m. sometimes. Every week I posted because I needed to build up that audience. So you're going to have to sacrifice. It's going to be hard, but that's okay. Don't give up. So these days, YouTube is quite highly saturated with all types of content, and there are a lot of celebrities who are starting their YouTube channels, like Will Smith. I love Will Smith. Hey, I subscribed right away. How can you get your content out there? How can you get YouTube to recommend your content, especially because the YouTube algorithm, who knows what's going on with that? Okay, actually, I do. And so that's what I'm going to talk to you about now. How can you get your videos seen and on the YouTube recommendation page amongst all of the other content that's out there? When I first started, people like kind of sit down in front of the camera just talking. These days they kind of want a little bit more pizzazz. They want things that are a little bit more trending. And especially with the YouTube algorithm being what it is, all of your subscribers don't actually see your video, which makes no sense, YouTube. So what you have to do is you have to come up with video titles and topics that people who don't know you are going to see and be interested in. For me, I kind of worked out that people are always interested in things that have to do with differences in like Korean versus Western makeup, Korean people becoming Western or Western people becoming Korean. And they also really care about my mother-in-law. Korean dramas, they portray like mother-in-laws to be like these kind of crazy women who like hate their daughter-in-laws. If you're a foreigner, you ain't gonna get married because they ain't gonna like you because you ain't Korean. So people are always curious about things like that. Anything related to me, my husband, my parents-in-law, doing anything with them, especially if it crosses over and it's me and my husband or mom-in-law doing some Western stuff or me doing some Korean stuff with them, I was able to figure out that people are quite interested in that. No longer can I do things that are just like more personal in my life. Even if they are personal, the main topic or the main things that I'm showing have to be things that I know people are interested in, like dynamics between me and my family-in-law or like some specific things related to Korean culture. I think that will really help you to get your videos out there and be recommended on the YouTube main page. Another good thing that you should do is engage with your fans. This is the single most important thing you could do for content creation because your fans will typically tell you what they want to see. There are times, however, when the people who are most vocal are the people who are your hardcore fans, so they'll watch anything that you do. For me, for example, I get a lot of requests for vlogs, but the people who are requesting these vlogs are the people who will watch anything that I put up. So if I do a vlog, it'll have much less views than another, some sort of Korean Korean culture related video. So I realized that people who are most vocal are the hardcore fans, so they watch anything. So I don't do as many vlogs because from my standpoint, they don't get as many views, so less people want to see it. I also will always ask them on Twitter. Like Twitter is my, hey, what do you guys want to see? And there's like poll features and stuff like that. So you can, even if you have 2 video topics, you can have people vote on it. People love that. They love when they've asked you to make a video and you actually do it, especially if you show the comments of people asking you to do that video. In that video, people are like, oh my God, you showed my comment. And then people will tend to even be more vocal in their comments. So whenever you post, spend at least 30 minutes replying to all of the replies that you can. And I think that would help you tremendously because your fans will love you for it. You do have to do things for them to let them know that you love and appreciate what they do. You can do giveaways. We even have some offline events here in Seoul usually. And so many of you guys will turn up to see me. It'll actually make you feel more confident and boost you up as well. Especially when you get in a slump. You're like, I don't know what to do. Are people liking what I'm doing these days? If you have an event, you'll just get so encouraged. And that I find that after I have these events, that it typically, like, I'm on a roll with the videos. I'm like, I'm gonna do this, and that will allow your subscribers to actually even be more loyal to you and make sure that they come and check out your channel to see the latest videos that you've posted up. So as your channel grows, you'll notice that you start getting offers from companies who want to sponsor you with their products. First advice that I would give you is don't do anything for free because you're ruining it for everyone else and you're selling yourself short. Unless this product is like a car or a house, something worth a lot of money, worth more than what you think your sponsorship rate is, please do not accept it for free. There are big companies out there who will contact you and be like, oh yeah, we just want to do it for free. And I'm like, hello? What kind of business model is that? Free! Or some companies will come to you and they'll say, actually, we're a startup. We just started. So how about you do it for free this time? And if it does well, we'll pay you next time. And you know what I always say? If you go to the Apple store and you try and buy a new iPhone and you tell them you just got a new job and you don't get paid yet, but after you start getting paid, you're going to buy the next phone next year, what are they going to say? Okay. Think of yourself in that way as well. So many people, I feel like they don't think that what they have is valuable, especially if you have more than, I would say, 50,000 or you're getting into the hundreds of thousands of subscribers. You definitely don't need to be doing things for free unless it's something that you're just passionate about, like if it's a charitable thing or something like that, you know what I mean? Search and research, maybe write around how much you should be receiving per post based on your views and also based on your engagement from your YouTube analytics. And those are the tools that you're going to have to show companies to say, hey, this is how many views I can guarantee you on this video and this is how much I think that that's worth. If they can't match that, then I think it's good to just say, sorry, I can't do that. Because I think if more people start doing that, then more companies will approach you in a more serious way. You have built up your brand and your subscribers, and so this is kind of like power. Like you are worth something. Stop settling just for getting things for free without realizing, hey, you know, this is business. I'm a person who built up my brand. This is how much I deserve to get per post based on how many views and clicks I know I can guarantee that I get you. Everything is up for negotiation. If a company contacts you and they say, hey, we're going to give you this for that, girl, you negotiate everything. Hey, even though I know you're offered this, I feel like my videos are worth this. Can you match that? And in a lot of cases, they'll say, yeah, we can match that. And if they say they can't, then I say, well, I'm sorry, you know, maybe we can work together next time when you guys have a bigger marketing budget. And you know what? Even if it's a year later, so many of those companies contact me back and they're like, hey, we've actually grown. We can match your offer now. And then I say, hey, you know, I've grown as well. It's been a year. So this is my new offer. Then they're usually always like, okay, yeah, we got a budget now. So we got you, girl. As long as you can guarantee the views and say, hey, this is what I'm worth. I know this is what I'm worth. And I feel like you will get companies who will match that for you. Be confident because the companies will be confident too. They'll say, oh wow, she's guaranteeing us this amount of views. Like if you know your video is going to get good views, then the companies will be really happy and excited about it and they'll work with you again. Most of the companies I work with are repeat companies. Make sure you stick to your guns, you know what you're worth, and you really present that in a way that's confident so the companies know that you're not playing around. And save good video ideas for sponsored stuff. So whenever I get a really good banging idea that I know is going to be really popular, I just leave it to the side and I save it for when I get something sponsored because I know this video is going to do well. And so that's why my videos that are sponsored tend to have like a higher rate of views. And another thing that I like to do is I like to use that money into the production cost because you know they're going to pay you for it. So use some of that money to like go into production costs. Like if your editing is not up to par and you know someone who edits better than you, maybe use some of that money to pay them to make a really really good video, and then you could use that to send to your future clients. I did a sponsorship with Rosetta Stone. I love them. That was like so excited when Rosetta Stone called me. I was like, you called me? So I was able to show them, hey, these are the sponsored videos I did with these companies. These are how the views went. This is how many clicks we got. So I was able to really sell a really good, price for that one. Another big thing that I think is very important for you is to make sure that you don't use companies that don't match your brand. Your viewers who watch that video, their interests are different. So they're probably not going to click on that link or buy that product. Also, make sure you use products that you believe in. Don't use something that you think is a bad product, because I think if you're promoting products that are not good, then your subscribers are going to believe you less when you say that it is good. And so that will hurt you as well. So I think integrity is really important in that way. So to summarize, make sure that you are using companies that you believe in and that actually have products that match your subscriber demographics. How do you deal with the hate comments? Isn't it difficult to receive that much hate? So I'm going to tell you one thing. If you're interested or thinking about being a YouTuber, then you're just going to have a skin thicker than 10 elephants, because honestly, people are not going to like you. But I don't think of it as if somebody doesn't like me, that means that I'm a bad person. I just think I'm not the person they prefer, because I know there are people who are not bad people whose personalities, I'm just not with it. And I'm just like, I cannot hang out with this person. Their personality is just so clashy with mine. But that doesn't mean that that person is bad or that they're a bad person. It just means they're not my preference. So when people decide to leave hateful things, I think one of two things. One, they just don't like and prefer my personality, which is okay because there's so many people who do. I typically have a fulfilling life. I've got friends, somebody wanted to marry me, so I must not be a bad person, right? Or I will look and see if there's actually any criticism in that. Sometimes they actually offer really good criticism. Somebody said one time, you do too many cuts in the video, I'm getting whiplash. Okay, well, let me look and see how many cuts we actually put in this video. Oh, maybe we actually put too many. Maybe let's put less cuts. Through some of the hate comments, you can actually gain really good insights into how you should grow and progress, because you typically grow when people criticize what you're doing or tell you how you can do it better. There might be the possibility that people from the culture you're talking about, in our case, we're talking about Korea, there could be the possibility that some Korean people would watch your video and feel offended by it or feel like you don't really know what you're talking about. Apologizing is something that's very important in Korean society. Depending on how severe it is, I would make a comment and pin it at the top, and I would say I'm really sorry people felt offended about this particular thing. I learned that actually it's like this. If it's a really big offense, then I recommend that you maybe make another video about it and you just say, I'm sorry. I'm still learning about Korean culture. I love Korea. That's why I'm here. If I didn't love it, I wouldn't be here. I made a mistake, but I really appreciate you guys telling me in the comments what's right. I learned through this experience, and, kind of move on from that. But if something like that happens, don't get discouraged. We're all people. We're all learning and growing in life. Even in daily life, we make mistakes with people. We might do things that hurt people or upset people. But again, it's not a reflection of, oh, you're a bad person. It's just you did a bad thing or you made a mistake. Don't be discouraged if you get that. Everyone makes mistakes, and that's okay. It's just a part of life. You have to learn and grow. If it happens, take it as a learning opportunity and make sure you apologize for it, and that will be a big help for you. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope that this was able to help some of you who are interested in starting your YouTube channels. And just so you know, we're going to be making a lot more of these videos, not with me, with other people, but they've all got great advice and things to tell you. So make sure you leave your comments down below to let us know other things that you're wondering about YouTube and just how you can start up your YouTube channel and about other topics that you would want to see. So I talked here today about Korean culture videos, but what if you want to do some sort of reaction videos or other types of videos? You can let us know in the comments, what type of YouTuber you want to talk about their experience and the things that you want to learn. So if you love all things Korean culture related and you want to share that with the world, don't hesitate to become a K influencer yourself. And good luck!